Alright, hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to basically use SketchUp, how to get all set up, logged in, and just show you a little bit of the basics of the program. So to get started, what you need to do is once you're logged onto your Chromebook and signed in to your Google account, you're going to go to your Google Apps section up on the top right hand corner of your screen. And if you scroll all the way down, since our school is a part of the Google Suite, you'll see all the way on the bottom, it says SketchUp for Schools. And there's like this little blue cube there for you to click on. And after you click on it, it'll take you to SketchUp. Now it might take a couple of seconds to load, especially if we're in school with the Wi-Fi and everyone being on the Chromebooks at the same time. But after it loads, you'll see, for you, it'll just be blank, right? Because this is the first time you're using it. But for me, this is where my recent files are, and yours will be here as well. To open a file, you just have to click the three dots and click on open. But since, we're just starting out, we of course have to make a new file. So you're going to go up underneath where it says home and click create new. Click simple template feet and inches, right? Because we live in America and this is the system that we use, feet and inches. Of course, you could do meters and millimeters, but we don't use those units of measure. So we're going to stick with feet and inches. So you can click on that. And once you click on it, it will load you into a new file. Alright, so once you get into the new file, the first thing you'll probably see is this guy right here, right? So he's like staring right at you. He's there not to be creepy or not to be weird, but he's there to basically give you perspective on, your SketchUp models, right? To see, for scaling purposes, how big or small your house or your building or just anything in general, how big it is compared to a human, right? Just to give you some perspective. Now, these lines, this blue line, green line, and red line, those are your axes. So that's your X, Y, and Z axis. But today we're just going to practice so you could figure out the basic tools here on the left hand side. We're not even going to touch the right hand side today. We're going to focus on these tools right over here. Alright, so what you want to do is we're going to start with the rectangle tool. Alright, so if you come over here to the left, you'll see right here is a rectangle tool, and after you click on it, a bunch of different options appear. Now, we're going to click on the first one up here. And all you're going to do is come right next to this guy right here in this general area. And you're going to click on this work plane, I'll call it. You're going to click once. You're going to release. And then you could see, if you move your mouse or your cursor, that the rectangle starts to be drawn. Alright, if you click again, then it locks the rectangle in place, so you just want to click once to get it on there, and then you could expand and contract the rectangle as you go. So we're actually going to enter our own dimensions, because if you look in this bottom right hand corner, you could see all dimensions like go crazy as I extend this and go make it smaller. It gives you what the dimensions are. Now, like I said, we're going to be putting in our own dimensions, so when you get to your house design project, you're able to put in the dimensions that are on your floor plan. So to enter dimensions, you just have to start typing in the numbers. So you're going to type in for this first rectangle 6, and if you look on the bottom right hand corner, you can see that now the 6 is there, and then you're going to put one tick mark right for feet. Then you're going to put a comma, and then you're going to put 3 feet and click enter, and then you'll see that it draws it for you. All right, and then it turns gray. After that, we're going to come back over here to the tools, and right underneath the rectangle tool, you'll see like this box with an arrow popping out of it, and if you hover over for long enough, like you just saw there, it says push/pull. You're going to click on that, And then you're going to click on the first tool that says push and pull. And you're going to go back over to your rectangle, and you could see that it kind of has like blue dots when you go over it. That means that that shape is selected. So you want to click right there. You're going to click once and release. And then you could move your mouse up and down, right, to see it go up higher or lower than that rectangle that you drew. Now we're going to leave it up, right up above the plane, and you're going to put 4 feet. So again, you're going to just type 4 and then put 1 tick mark and click enter. And there we go. So that is 4 feet. So now you can kind of see with this guy, he's giving you kind of perspective, right? Obviously he's taller than 4 feet, right? But that's why this guy is a little bit helpful to kind of see, right? You don't want to make like a 4-foot house, of course, right? That's why that guy's there to give you some insight to the perspective of the building or object that you're trying to create. All right, so that's the first thing that we're making just for practice. Now what we're going to do is you're going to zoom out a little bit. All right, and you could zoom out with your trackpad. And then what we're going to do is draw another rectangle next to this rectangle. All right, so again, we're going to go back to our rectangle tool, and we're going to make this new rectangle the exact same size as the other rectangle. So that, if you forget, is 6 feet, comma, 3 feet. Enter. And there you go. Now again, we're going to go to the push-pull tool. We're going to click on it. Once it's selected, you're going to click on that face right there, come up a little bit, type in 4 feet again, and click enter. Now what we're going to do is go back to the rectangle tool, and we're going to go to the face of this rectangle, the second one that we made. And you can see here, it's kind of like drawing a little green mini rectangle already for us. But I'm going to kind of put my mouse towards the bottom, and I'm just going to click. And you could see here now I could draw my rectangle, but we're going to just put in another dimension just so we could practice typing in our dimensions. So you're going to make this 4 feet, comma, by 3 feet. Enter. And it looks like that. All right, it doesn't have to be centered, that's okay. Just make sure it's somewhere on the face. If you don't like the placement, you could always click Control Z to undo. Or you can click the undo button right up here at the top of the screen. But I'm going to leave that there. And now we're going to go back to the push-pull tool. And we're going to click now on this part of the face, right on that rectangle that we just drew. Once you select that, right, if you go now, you can go like horizontally, right, along that axis right there. So we want to get rid of the inside of this rectangle that we made. So to do that, we have to put this push-pull tool to the correct dimension that we made this rectangle, which is, you know, width-wise 3 feet. So we're going to type in 3, tick mark, enter, and it takes away that inside of our rectangle for us. All right. Now we're going to make one more rectangle, and what you're going to do, if you're using a mouse, you could just click on that center, like the rolly button. You could do that and just click on the center to orbit. Or what I like to do is just go to the orbit tool over here on the left, and what that does is spin your work plane. And I'm going to spin it like this so I can kind of see over there. And again, I'm going to get my rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a rectangle right over here. Again, 6 feet by 3 feet. And there we go. And I'll go in and I'll zoom in. Again, I'm using the 2 fingers on the trackpad to zoom in. And what I'm going to do is get the extrude tool and extrude this up. Now, we're not going to extrude it the same height that we did the other two. We're going to make this 2 feet high. Click enter. Then we're going to take the rectangle tool again, and this time we're going to put the rectangle on the face of this shape. All right, so I'm going to click in the kind of like close to the upper left hand corner. Right, so I have room to draw my rectangle, and we're going to make this rectangle 4 by 1. So 4 feet, comma, 1, enter. Just like that. Again, it does not matter where you put the smaller rectangle, we're just doing this for practice. Then we're going to go back to the push-pull tool, or like I call it, the extruder. And we're going to select the smaller rectangle, right? So the rectangle that we just drew, right? So make sure that is highlighted in those blue dots. Once it is, right, you can see that it could be extruded upwards or downwards. We're going to extrude it upwards 2 feet. So I'm going to type in 2 feet, enter, and there we go. Now, since we did a lot with rectangles, we're going to now move to the circles. All right, but first what I'm going to do is take my orbit tool again, and I'm just going to spin this like this so I could see the back of my rectangle so I can work behind these. Then, like I said, we're going to do some cylinders. So what you're going to do is click on the rectangle tool again, and you'll see a bunch of different options come up. The one option that actually comes up is the circle tool. So you're going to click on that so it changes. And you're just going to click anywhere right behind these rectangles. And you can move your mouse back and forth to see the circle expand and contract. Now, we're going to make this circle, the radius, 2 feet. So you're going to type in 2, then that little tick mark for feet, click enter, and there we go. Now all we're going to do is do just like what we did with this rectangle, just extrude this circle. So we're going to click on our push and pull tool, click on that face, and we're going to extrude this 4 feet like just how we did with everything else. I'm going to do 4, enter, and there we go. All right, now we're going to move on to the second cylinder. So the second cylinder, again, you're going to just click on the circle tool. You're going to move over here to this spot. We're going to make this 2 feet for the radius as well. And then we're going to also extrude this 4 feet, just like the other one. So we're going to just put that one up like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do like the same thing we did with this one and take material away. So before we do that, we have to draw another circle on top of this circle. So what we're going to do is you could just draw it anywhere. All right, so I'm going to actually click escape and redraw it. Alright, so like if you're ever drawing something and you don't like how it looks or the location that you clicked on to start drawing, you could just click the escape button and it'll move it away. Alright, so I'm going to redraw. And there we go. Now what you're going to do is click on the push-pull tool, go to that center part of the circle that you just drew, so the smaller circle. We're going to take away the amount of material that's going through this whole entire cylinder, which is 4 feet, right? So, because that's how much we extruded it upwards to. But this time when you extrude, right, we don't want to make this go up before we type the number. We want to make sure that this is going underneath, right? It's going out from under, right? We don't want to add on top. We want to take away. So make sure that your cylinder in the middle is kind of pushed downwards. Then go ahead and type your 4 feet, and it should take it away. All right, so if I rotate, you could see it's hollow. All right, now we're going to do our last cylinder. So again, we're going to take the circle tool, go over here, draw a nice circle. Again, we're going to make this 2 feet, just so all of these are the same. And this time, just like we did with this one, we're going to extrude this 2 feet upwards. Then we're going to grab another circle. And we're going to make the circle, let's make it half the radius of this. So let's make this 1 foot. So we're going to just type in 1 foot and leave it like that. Now we're going to get the push-pull tool again, click on that circle, and instead of going downwards like we did for the one on the left, we're going to go upwards. All right, we want to add material. So we're going to extrude that up to 2 feet. And there we go. So this was just kind of, a quick little basic tutorial on how to manipulate shapes and either extrude upwards or take away material from different shapes, so you're able to use these tools when it comes time to make your house, your dream houses for our project. So since we're done, right, just so I can show you how to save everything, you could see in the upper left hand corner it says untitled, right? This doesn't have a name yet. So what you want to do is click on the untitled name, and it's going to ask you, where do you want to, save this, because it automatically saves to your drive, which is really nice, and you could automatically, upload it to Google Classroom. So you're going to click on My Drive. All right, and now what I did was I made a, I'm trying to find it here. There it is. It's actually the first one. I made a SketchUp folder, which I think you should do as well. To make a new folder, you just click Add Folder, and you would type it in right there. All right, but I have this folder selected right here. I'm going to double click on it, and now I could enter my name in the bottom right here. So you could just name this, you could put your last name. So I'm going to put my last name, which is Dolch, and we're going to put it as Block Practice. Then what you could do is click Save here, and it'll automatically save to your drive. All right, then you'll get brought back here, and it'll say saved. All right. So again, these were just the basics of using SketchUp. I'll show you some more tips and tricks in the next coming lessons. But for right now, these are the basics.